It was a sunny day as I walked out of the supermarket carrying 2 grocery bags. I spotted a man standing next to an SUV parked in front of the supermarket. "Hi," he said, halting me. "You're beautiful." I just stood there, somewhat angry. "Partly because of the scorching sun. I'd have given you a ride, but I'm waiting for my business partner," he continued. "If you don't mind, can I have your number? I don't want to keep you standing." I was just there, thinking of what to say to him. He had this sophisticated accent which I loved. I decided to take a good look at him. He was about 6 feet plus, dark in complexion and had broad shoulders which sat well all muscular body. I was practically drooling over him. I looked up to meet the darkest eyes I've ever seen staring back at me. I blushed. "What do you say?" he asked, stretching his cell phone towards me. Of course I obliged. I handed him his cell phone when I was done. "Thanks," he said, excitedly. "I'll call you." I nodded and walked away. I hailed a cab. Once inside, I couldn't stop thinking about him. He was every woman's dream. My dream. I shook my head, sadly. I couldn't believe I've fallen for a total stranger. That wasn't my style. Indeed, we find love in strange places. The cab halted in front of my house. I fumbled for money in my purse and paid him before alighting. I knocked at the door. Sophia opened it and looked at me completely surprised. "I didn't hear you drive in," she said and looked past me. Then, back at me. "Where's your car? Can I go in?" I asked. She moved away from the door. I walked in and she followed suit, shutting the door behind her. "Did you park outside?" she asked while I kept the grocery bags on the center table and sat on the couch. "Madam, say something, please. Or was it stolen?" I looked at her and smiled. She was my best friend and always looked out for me. She lived with me. Though, not permanently. "I left it at the supermarket," I replied. She sat down next to me. "So it broke down. Have you called the mechanic?" I laughed. "I wish it broke down." "I'm lost," she said. "Your car didn't break down? Why else did you leave your SUV at the supermarket?" I smiled again. "I'm sure you are wondering as well. By the way, my name is Chica and this is my love story. But before I continue, please like and subscribe to this channel for more interesting stories. Do you know that subscription is free? Yes. You heard right. Subscription is free. Kindly subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you will be notified about new exciting stories." Sophia was patiently waiting for me to start talking and I did. I narrated my ordeal with the stranger. "A ride in which car, please?" she asked. "Mine." "And you just stood there, watching him pose with your SUV?" I wanted to ask him to move away from my car, but then, my curiosity got the best of me. So I played along. She looked at me for a while. "Are you being serious?" I nodded. He even asked for my number. "Please, tell me you didn't give him." "Well, I did." "Are you kidding me? You need to see this guy. He's so cute. He matches the profile of my dream man." "Babe, he's not right for you. I mean, someone who lies on a first date is capable of anything." "First date with who?" "First date or meeting. The point is, first impression matters a lot. What if he's a gold digger? I'll gladly be his mine." I smiled. "You don't get it, do you?" He captured my heart without even realizing it. "My friend, you've been bewitched." I laughed. "You can say that again. For the meantime, can you help me drive my car home?" Sophia laughed. "You did the dumbest thing ever by taking a cab home." I didn't want to burst his ego. "Now, all I have to do is wait for his call." "And if he doesn't call?" "He will," I said, boldly. "He likes me. Now, go get my SUV." I handed her the key. While she walked towards the door, I picked up my grocery bags and went into the kitchen. Moments later, Sophia drove in and walked in to meet me crocheting a customer's order. She kept the key on the center table. "This bikini is so fine," she said. "I can't wait for you to start making mine. The beach party is this weekend." "Auntie, you haven't paid me." "Start first." "With which yarn?" "The leftover wool, of course." "You're not well." While we laughed, my cell phone started ringing. It was an unknown number. I quickly connected the call. "Hello," I said. "Hi," the voice said over the phone. "It's me, Lucas." "Lucas?" I asked, though I recognized his voice. "Yes, dear. We didn't get the chance to introduce ourselves. We met earlier today at the supermarket." "Oh, that's right. Can we have dinner tonight? It will really mean a lot to me. And to me as well, but there was no way I would just accept without a little shakara." "Well, I don't think. Please, don't say no." I smiled. "Okay, then. Thank you." 7 p.m.? "Yeah." "Location?" "My house." He laughed. "Don't mind me. There's this exotic hotel I know the food tastes good. Can I come pick you up?" "No. I'll find my way there. I'll text you the location, then. See you in a bit." The line disconnected. "I've got my first date with him," I said, excitedly. "You don't say," Sophia replied. "Why didn't you ask him to come pick you up?" "So, he'll drive me in a borrowed car?" "No way." I left the bikini I was crocheting on the couch and stood. "Let me go get ready for my date. I don't want to keep him waiting." "Oh yeah. Warala for who no get date." "Yes oh." She stood. "Let me help you choose the best first date outfit." "Bestie, for life," I said as we both left. It was already dark when I got to the hotel. I stood at the threshold and looked around the room. To my amazement, it beat my imagination. It was for the elite. What is he up to? I soliloquized. I spotted him sitting in a corner. He looked up at that same moment and our eyes met. He smiled at me, and while I walked towards him, he got up and met me halfway. "You look stunning," he said. "Why not when Sophia was involved?" I said, inwardly. She was a makeup artist and I was her favorite mule. Though she didn't endorse him, she made sure my looks didn't fail me. While my lips curved into a smile, I felt my heart thump faster when he held my hand and planted a kiss at the back of my palm. His dark eyes searched my face and then, he raised his arm. I slid in my hand and we walked back to his table. A waiter took our orders. "I'm glad you made it," he said. "You almost got me worried." "Really? You're half an hour late." "Oh my bad," I said when his face had traces of concern. "I didn't even realize that." "You're here now. That's all that matters." Our orders arrived. The waiter popped the bottle of wine and left 2 glasses half-filled before walking away. He lifted his wine glass. "To friendship," he said. "And love." I lifted mine and our glasses clinked. We both drank from our glasses at the same time and then pounced on our meals. "This is delicious," I said. "I told you. This is second to none." "Wait until you taste my food." "Your food?" I asked, somewhat amused. I may not be a certified chef, but I assure you, I'm a good cook. I laughed. "You don't want to meet me in the kitchen?" I used my fork to impale a lump of meat. "I can't wait to beat you in the kitchen." "Is this a dare?" "Yes, it is." He laughed. "Just fix a date and I'll be there." Moments later, the waiter cleared the table, except the wine. "I love everything about you," he said. "You're the kind of woman I want to build a family with." He placed his palm on top of mine on the table, with his dark eyes piercing my soul. "I have strong feelings for you. Don't take this the wrong way. I'm in love with you. It's so hard to believe you think I'm stupid." I almost said, but I kept my cool. "I know we just met today and it's too early for me to say all these. I just don't want you out of my sight without you knowing how I feel about you." I just kept staring at him. "I don't believe in love at first sight, but with you, it's different. I don't want you to say yes to me now. Take your time, think about it. But while you're at that, please, let me treat you like the queen that you are." When he stopped talking, my lips parted to utter a word or two, but none was forthcoming. I quickly shut them. "Let me take you home." He stood and led me to his car even before I could protest. "Wow." I almost screamed. His SUV was way more expensive than mine. "I would love to do this again," he said when his SUV stopped in front of my feigned home not too far from the actual one. "Sure," I said and then alighted. And when do I get to know your name? Oh my God, I said amidst laughter while he smiled. I'm Chica. Don't mind my manners, please. Call you when I get home. I bade him farewell and scurried to my abode. Sophia was patiently waiting for me when I got home. You finally came back, she said. I laughed. How did it go? Pretty well, I said and pulled out the wig. But there's something about Lucas that I can't really figure out. What else do you want to figure out when you already know he's a liar? I mean, you should expect the worst you can imagine from him. You're right. I wrinkled my forehead thoughtfully. You need to see his SUV, the fancy restaurant, his charisma. This guy has to be good in faking everything. Babe, don't fall for his cheap schemes. He's up to no good. What if my assumptions are wrong? No way. I know you're madly in love with him, his physique and all that, but you can't deny the fact that he's not being real with you. So are saying he's not capable of falling in love? He's human, you know. But I wouldn't trust him if I were you. Thank God you're not me. Okay, oh. Don't say I didn't warn you because he will definitely serve you breakfast twice. But don't worry, I'll lend you a shoulder to cry on. I was quiet. I got up and walked into my bedroom. I lay on my bed lost in thoughts. What if Sohaya was right? Should I just keep my distance? But how would that be possible when all I want is to spend the rest of my life with him? I haven't felt this way about anyone for a long time. His heaven sent. My enchantment. What would I do without him? I sighed. How do I even stop loving him? Not when he professed his love for me. I wish. My cell phone started ringing. Lucas was calling. I watched it ring till it stopped. It rang again. I heaved a sigh and connected the call. Hello, I said. Hi, dear, he said. I just got home. Okay. Thought I should hear your sweet voice once more before you go to bed. That's good. Are you all right? You don't sound like you. I'm fine. No, you're not. I can feel it in your voice. I'm good. I'm not buying that. I'm coming over. He disconnected the call even before I could convince him not to. I quickly got up and dashed to the sitting room. Sophia was watching TV. He's coming over, I said. She raised an eyebrow. Who? Lucas. What? Why? I wasn't happy when he called and he noticed. And where did you say he dropped you off again? What? And then it dawned on me. I can't let him come home. Just then, my cell phone started ringing. It's him. And you know what that means. I have to go back there. Exactly. But I'm coming with you. I connected the call. I'm outside, he said. Can you come out? Shall we? I told Sophia. We spotted him from afar, dallying with his cell phone and leaning back on his SUV. OMG, Sophia screamed. This guy is cute. God must have taken much time to create him. Now, I know why you're head over heels for him. I only smiled. Seconds later, I was standing in front of him. Sophia stopped somewhere close by. He pulled me close in a warm embrace. Baby, it's going to be fine, he said, his fingers running through my hair. Right there in his arms, I felt safe. The sense of his perfume filled my senses. The feelings were real. How would this go wrong? I lifted my head to look into his eyes, but then, our lips touched slightly. I could feel my heart palpitate. He searched my face. I'm deeply in love with you, baby, he said. Don't scare me this way, please. I'm just a phone call away. I gradually pulled away from his arms to keep my feelings in check. I'm sorry if I make you uncomfortable. On the contrary, but I kept mute. Are you good? I nodded. You didn't have to come. There's no way I will sleep well knowing you're not happy. He smiled. Just one day with you and I feel like I've known you my whole life. I just kept staring at his face. I wish I could stay longer, but I've got to let you sleep. Let me know when you get home, I said, just before he drove off. I walked back to Sophia and we went home. But that guy looks so real to be faking anything, she said. You can say that again. See his skin like aged butter. And fresh like today's bread, I chipped in. I can't wait to see what tomorrow brings. I can't wait to see the end of this. Something that just started. You better sit back and relax. We are not in a hurry. That night, I went to bed happy and had the most peaceful night ever. The next morning, I woke up to his phone call. He wanted us to meet later that evening at his place. He wanted to cook me dinner. I accepted. At least, I would get to him better and uncover future lies. But on a second thought, what if the house was not his? Just like his SUV, because I was yet to find out if he was the true owner. Inasmuch as I want to believe everything was real, I could not deny the fact that they may all be lies. Anyway, I believe the truth would gradually unfold. That night, I got dressed and unlocked my SUV. I was done with the cabs. The sooner I got over with the drama, the better for us. I heaved a sigh of relief when I felt the harness of my seat. I looked into the rearview mirror, ignited the engine and then drove off to his apartment. Mansion, I mean. I did not know he was this wealthy. Lucas was already outside waiting for me. When I alighted, he looked at me and then, at my SUV somewhat surprised but said nothing. He held out his arms towards me and I went into them. He led me into his home afterwards. This place is beautiful, I said, admiring his sitting room. You like my abode? I love it. I'm glad you do. Have a seat, please. The table is almost set. Want some help? No, it's nothing. I've done this several times. My eyes glinted at him. Not the way you think, please. Don't look at me like that. Several times you were saying. So I'm what number? 5, 10, 15. That's not what I meant. You got the wrong idea. I've done this several times. And I'm what number again? I interrupted, letting jealousy grip my entire being. I'm a chef, damn it, he blurted out. I shot a stare at him and then looked away. I didn't believe him. He held my hands fondly. Please, don't ruin this evening, my love. I've done this several times because I'm a certified chef, a restaurateur. I turned to look at him. What? I own that restaurant we had dinner last night. You don't say. Rosie Restaurant. I thought it belonged to a woman. It was meant to be for my fiancé. She was a chef too. But you know, shit happens. Now, you're stuck with her name. I thought so too. But now, I've got plans. So what went wrong? I asked, curious. I'm a man. I make mistakes. We all do. In the end, the shits decide what's meant to be. You speak in parables. He stood and made me stand too. What's going on between us is a good thing. Don't let my ex or jealousy spoil what we have. I looked into his dark eyes. He meant every word he said, which made me wonder if. Come help set the table, he said, cutting through my thoughts. I did, and moments later we were eating rice and chicken curry sauce with a modicum of wine. You really are a good cook, I said. Don't flatter me, please. But it's true. You're just trying so hard not to blush. He laughed, a laughter so rich and full of splendor. Okay, I admit. I got you. He was fun to be with. I was beginning to fall in love with his demeanor. He was so free and full of life. After a while, we were done with the meals and cleared the table. He excused himself and went upstairs. I looked around the sitting room. His portraits were almost everywhere. Did he really own this house? And the restaurant? Unbelievable. I smiled. You're smiling, he said, climbing down the stairs and holding a tiny box which he handed to me. I was astonished. You bought me a gift. He shrugged. A little something to say thank you for honoring my invitation. I just kept staring at him. Open it. I did, and I couldn't believe my eyes. A set of gold necklace, earrings, and bracelet. They were pure gold. This was way more than just saying thanks. I hugged him. Thank you. You deserve more, he said. I couldn't help it. I looked up and planted a kiss on his lips, damning all morals. I felt fulfilled, finally doing what I've longed for when we first met. I almost got shy, but he held my jaw fondly, nudging me closer. He kissed back. For a moment, I felt the emotions were rising. Suddenly, he pulled out. Why was that? I frowned. He searched my eyes. Move in with me, my love, he said. I don't want you out of my sight anymore. What? Were my ears deceiving me? I love you deeply, and I know you love me too. I moved away from him. For how long have we known each other again? He closed the gap between us. What does it matter? Love is never wrong. It has no perfect timing. I know, but. No buts, my love. He placed my hand on his chest. Feel my heartbeat. See how I get being with you. I was having mixed feelings. With my hand on his chest, my feelings for him was beginning to overwhelm me. I swallowed hard. I don't want to take advantage of you, he said. I want us to do the right thing. By moving in together. I dropped my hand. His palms held my both cheeks. I haven't seen anyone with shining brown eyes yet so blind. I looked away since I couldn't move my face from his. Look at me, he pleaded. I did. Why else will I ask you to move in with me? I'm asking you to be my wife. Marry me, I beg you. He kissed me. But I didn't respond. I pulled out. He just stood there, watching me as I grabbed my keys and walked away. That was it. I was done listening. I needed to think things through. Yes, I was in love with him, but marriage was something else entirely. You just don't dash into it. I got home that night and went straight to bed. I was furious. How could someone I barely know ask me to marry him? I don't even know what he does for a living. He's a restaurateur, my heart told me. I sighed. I wanted him badly. Every bit of me ached for him, but there was little I could do about it. That night, I slept sad. I woke up to his phone calls. I refused to pick up. What the point talking to him? If love was madness, I would gladly choose sanity. I could swear he was up to no good. I was in the sitting room watching my favorite soap opera when Sophia walked in from her room. Have you called the plumber? She asked. The leakage has increased. Yeah. He'll soon be here. Just then, there was a knock at the door. That must be him. I'll get it, she said and walked towards the door while I concentrated on the TV again. I almost froze when I looked up and saw Lucas in a plumber's attire. He was astonished too. You! I almost screamed. A plumber? You live here? Sophia just stood, watching. So you've been lying to me all this while? I can't believe my eyes. A plumber? Yes. I mean no, he wiped his face with his palm. It's not what you think. He sat down next to me and raised his hand to touch my cheek. Don't touch me, I freaked out. He dropped his hand. I'm not a plumber. It's just that I. Spare me the lies. I've never lied to you, he said, calmly. Believe me, my love. I'm not your love. You are, baby. I've always known you had something up your sleeves, but then, I fell in love with you. And abandoned me. Who wouldn't? You're full of lies and living a fake life. All for what? Nothing. Exactly. Why would I live a fake life? I'm filthy rich, baby. You wish. I hissed. I don't how you got this all mixed up. I'm only. First, you posed in front of my SUV like it was yours, and now. What? He faltered. Baby, please, if this is a prank, stop it. You almost offered me a ride at that supermarket we met in my own SUV. He looked at me squarely. Now, I get it. You should have just asked me instead of bottling them up. I kept a straight face. That day, I parked across the road and was going to join my partner who was already inside the supermarket when I saw you coming out. I loved you instantly. He paused. But if that was your SUV, why did you take a cab? And make you feel bad? Bad about what? I wasn't even posing with anything. I mean, I wouldn't offer you a ride if I didn't own a car. You've been to one of my mansions and restaurant. I have a whole lot you're yet to know about. My eyebrows inched closer. I won't be sitting here trying to prove myself to you if I don't love you. Did you even try to Google me? Or at least the restaurant I claimed to be mine? It's not fair. Well, I felt you weren't to be trusted. And dumping me was your only option. We could have talked things through. He frowned. You live here. I nodded and he stood up. You accuse me of lying, yet you lied about your home. Because I thought you were fake. And now? There was a knock at the door. I turned to look at Sophia. She wasn't there. I didn't even realize she had left the sitting room. I stood and opened the door. Michael walked in. He was somewhat a billionaire plumber. Story for another day. Chica, I hope he did a nice job. Michael asked. Why didn't you tell me you would be sending someone new? I queried. He sucks at his job. Exactly what I thought. He laughed and turned to look at Lucas. My money, please. Indeed, replied Lucas. You better start explaining to her how you made me a plumber. He stopped laughing. Why? She's Chica, the love of my life I told you about. Michael raised an eyebrow. What? Yeah. So you should start talking. He shrugged. But it's not my fault you're a plumber for today. It's a dare, you know. It's just unfortunate she was the only one at that moment who needed our services. Your service, you mean? I quit. He pulled the coverall he wore and handed to Michael. It's a dare, man. You can't just quit. I laughed. Why did you accept such dare? I asked Lucas. He had no choice, Michael replied. He dared me to wash the dishes in one of his restaurants and I did. So he has to do whatever I dare him to. I have already, Lucas said. No, you haven't, I replied and we all started laughing. Are we good now? Or do I have to prove I'm actually worth more than you can imagine? Of course not. I believe you. You left my first gift to you. Oh, it's still waiting for you. See you tonight? Sure. He kissed my cheeks. See you then. And the leakages? I got it, Michael said. Thanks, man. I owe you one. Lucas walked towards the door while I led Michael to the bathroom.